Good morning, everyone. Treasure Troller here on the ride home from work in the militant state of Michigan, where we have more FBI agents and paid informants than we do actual conspirators in the kidnap plot of our governor and dictator, Gretchen Whitmer. So I saw this on the news last night. Thought it was a little interesting because it was similar to a story from where I live. I come from a very, very small town, and there was an article in the sort of police section of one of our newspapers, which for the most part that whole paper is nothing but the court appearances and arrests and tickets. There was a couple that were coming out of a suspected drug house or drug area, and were pulled over, and they were found to have drugs on them. I believe this part of the story that I may have missed because I talked to someone from the legal area who thought they had read something about the tags or had been expired. So, but anyways, I thought it was rather interesting because I had no idea there was this type of activity in this town that I live in. It's just too small. Everybody knows everybody kind of thing. So I was a little bit surprised, but this one comes out of Dayton. It was on TV last night. I will provide the link in the description to the police cam. It was a gentleman by the name of Clifford Owensby, who was pulled over by the police. He was seen it was sort of a narcotics stakeout. He was seen coming from a suspected drug house or that area. I have to be careful about saying what they actually saw, because you'll hear later, or you'll know why later. One of the law enforcement officers recognized him. They ran the plates. It was him. He has prior felony convictions. They pull him over on suspicion of drugs. They want to do a free air search or whatever with the drug dog. So they want Mr. Owensby to exit his vehicle. And this is where the problem comes in. You see, Clifford is a paraplegic and cannot move his legs. So he was, if you watch the video, you'll see he's like saying, well, you know, man, that ain't gonna happen. I'm a paraplegic. I can't move my legs. And at first, I mean, the officer was very, very cordial. He was like, well, I'm here to help you get out of your vehicle. And he's, no, man, that's not going to happen. You know, it's not going to happen. I'm not getting out of this car. I'm just not going to do it. And they're saying, well, yeah, you are getting out of the car. We can either help you out of the car, or we will extricate you. It's kind of your choice now. So what does Clifford do? He gets on his cell phone, and the police have the door open. They're letting him make this phone call. He calls his friends that are just down the street, and he says, hey, man, I'm at the corner of this and this. Man, come on down here. Bring cameras. Bring cameras. He didn't ask for a wheelchair. Not like he was like, okay, if you're here to help me out, okay, look, I'll turn this way, you get underneath my shoulders, and then you have this officer get up underneath my backside and my legs, and I'll come out nice and easy. No, he didn't want to come out of the car. and he wanted people there to film it. I don't know if there was a wheelchair in the back seat of the car. I do know what was in the back seat of that car, and it was an unrestrained 3-year-old child. No seatbelt, no car seat. So anyways, Clifford decided to have law enforcement do it the hard way. So they were extricating this gentleman out of the car. All the while he's screaming. That's a big surprise. And he was arrested, and they carried him off, I guess, to the police car, basically with his hands cuffed behind his back, and an officer on each side of him with their arms like in between his arms, interlocking and taking him off, and of course his feet dragging on the road, which probably of all things was probably the worst look. But I think, like I said, if he would have asked for a wheelchair instead of cameras, or said, "Oh yeah, officer, get the wheelchair out of the back of my car, it's in my trunk, or it's in the back seat," with the unrestrained 3-year-old, may have made a difference. But all he wanted was cameras there so he could get his film the soon to be filed lawsuit. Police, however, did find, they didn't really find any drugs, but they found almost $23,000 in Clifford's car, along with that child. So at this moment, they've brought him up on charges, I think, with obstruction, the child, everything but drugs, or nothing to do with the money. But it doesn't look good for Clifford. I think he should probably take a plea deal, because now I'm not an attorney, and I don't profess to giving any law advice out. But this time, it may have looked bad in some instances. I know what that's like. I have a lot of experience in this area, and I know what it's like when people see paraplegics and quadriplegics that are being taken care of, and they've never really seen it before, and I know it can look a little or a lot worse than what it actually is. But anyways, I hope he takes a plea deal, because I just don't think Clifford has a leg to stand on. So with that, this is Treasure Troller saying aloha and good day.